have scoured the entire state, plus Nevada, for some amazing Q boomers today, and we're happy to have you here in the audience to cheer them on.
That's right. So we need to practice right now before the talks start. We need to hear you say boom. So, ready, set, boom! Thank you.
Oh, my name is Abby.
I'm Amanda.
And we are your Q boomer leaders.
So, for those of you that have not seen a Q boom before, they are 3-minute mic drops.
Here are the rules.
The speakers, like we said, only get 3 minutes to do their talk.
Speakers can only use 9 slides.
And they are not going to use any video or any audio in their stories today.
Because we cannot mess with any glitches. So we have told them, but this is important for you, that today's event is all about having fun and celebrating the voices of our Q family. So I hope you're ready to cheer them on.
Yeah. So here is what you all need to know. This is really, really hard. So we are going to cheer as loudly and as often as we can for our speakers today.
We're gonna, you gotta let the people watching at home hear how excited and proud you are of our Q family Q boomers. So we need the biggest energy that you have left of this Saturday afternoon.
If you hear something that you like up here, please let the room know.
And when the boomers finish their 3-minute mic drop, we want to hear the entire room go boom. Are you ready?
Yeah. Speakers, are you ready? All right.
First up.
Sound is everywhere. It can't be missed. Memory, mood, clues to a bigger world which we connect to. Can sound connect students to the greater globe? Very much. Yes. The sounds that we hear in the atmosphere give us a sense of place and a space. And GarageBand can help paint that picture for our students. Creating original sound effects to personify a building on a main street. Creating original music for a movie, using only shapes and sounds to tell about me, using the beat sequencer in GarageBand to have a deeper understanding of math concepts. Sound is a part of our story and the way in which we tell it. Sound is personal. When I was a sophomore in high school, my health teacher gave us an assignment. He said, find a song that has a special meaning to you. Bring it in tomorrow, press play. Explain to your classmates the significance of the song in your life. Now, at the time, I wasn't listening to a ton of music. I was performing all the time. But really what I was hearing was what my parents had in their collection, like classical, 60s, Kathy Lee Gifford Christmas time. So I did what every high schooler would have done in my situation, whipped out my Now CD, listened to all 27 tracks. One of them popped out. Casey and JoJo, all my life. So the next day I pressed play. I explained to my classmates, even though the lyrics didn't exactly connect to what I was going through in my life at the time, the rest of the arrangement did. There was a special resonance with how I felt and interpreted the music within me. There was a deep connection, an emotional connection. I loved the melody, the harmonic movement. I saw colors. I saw the story in my head play out as deeply powerful. I felt chills. This song inspired me to want to produce my own music and perform it as well. There was something about telling a story through sound that was deeply powerful to me, having my own personal message, drawing other people in. What if students could create sounds that gave people chills? If you didn't already know, iPads have the function to turn plain old students into producers of pro-level production. First grade, seventh grade, doesn't really matter. Using choice and voice will bind the sonic batter. GarageBand is the source of their digital heartbeat. Deep swells, distorted bells, whispering trees, and scurrying feet. Erhu is the eyes, the cries of a loved one's tears. Epic cloud formation tells of the stadium's cheers, compression, EQ, reverb, and delay, all intertwined to tell the passing of the day. Sound is everywhere, it cannot be missed. Should students tell their sonic story? Very much, yes. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Heidi Carr, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm an elementary educator where life is a gamble. We never know what hand we're going to be dealt with, but it's important that you take accountability for the hand you're dealt with and don't pass the buck. Bang, bang, each and every day we go to work with a smile on our face, knowing when we enter those doors we are going to take a beat down, but we still smile. We may be walking on glass as we enter those doors, take knives out of our backs due to our colleague, boss, that's a gaslighter, but we still continue to smile. Driving to work each and every day is a chore. Just like many of our students who have anxiety coming to school each and every day, there's many educators that have anxiety as well, but they still smile. There are days we go home, we sit and we cry. We go to the bathroom or lock our doors in our rooms just so we could continue to make it through the day so our gaslighter boss or colleague does not know they are truly breaking us down. Our colleagues become like sheep. They put blinders on to pretend they do not see what's going on because they fear they could be the next victim. However, what they do not realize, they're just as guilty. The gaslighter already knows who their next victim will be. We teach our students to be upstanders. However, many of us can't even stand up for ourselves, yet alone one of our colleagues. It is crucial we model this for our students. We are their sparkles. We need to help them fly. Being a sheep can get you into bad trouble. You never know when you'll be the next one to the slaughterhouse. You're better off being a butterfly or a bird. This allows you to be open-minded and to see from all perspectives. Mental illness is on the rise in our profession. We need to lift each other up, give us our wings, be our sparkles for our families and friends, and stop taking us to the slaughterhouse. We need to check on each other. How are you doing? Are you sure you're okay? When you're in need of help, reach out to a trusted friend, colleague, family member, and when they do reach out, be there for them, check in on them. We need to let their wings fly and let them continue to be a sparkle in our schools, communities, and families. You are a champion. You have to remember you are your own champion. It is important you take care of yourself. Now let's go let our wings fly. Boom.
All right. Don't start it yet. I like the number 9 in Spanish. There's something about that number that makes me feel alive. It's also the number of family members that are ahead of me. So when I was a kid, I had a really hard time understanding my place in my family. In fact, I actually had to wait 9 different times before I was able to speak. So imagine that, if you're like, it's like being at the DMV with no actual number to wait in line. So in an eclectic family like myself, this is not a video, this is a GIF. In an eclectic family like myself, I always wondered, where was my voice? Where do I actually belong? And when I turned 9, it was really interesting. I finally had that chance. Family members moved out. I felt alive. Finally, my voice was there. And I thought, yes, I can say anything. How are those beans, Dad? Hey, Mom, nice shoes. Mi hermana's mierda. I can't stand this. My school day's over. Finally, it felt like my dad swatted those words away, sort of like a dead fly on a windowsill. It made me really think. And it was one thing that my father had said, which was, en boca abierta entran moscas. one might imagine that when one opens his or her own mouth, you might find that there's flies that enter. And that word, that statement was really powerful in the formation. So when I became a teacher, I started thinking about the words that I use and how they influence my students. What is it that they do? What is it that I say? Am I inspiring them? Am I creating a space that's inclusive? There's something else going on, and I wonder about in our space, in our 24/7 digital space, that those words have been replaced by symbols, whether it's an emoji, whether it's a video, whether it's a GIF, whatever that is. Those words have been replaced. And I wonder about that. I wonder about what they actually mean for us. And so when I think about that, though, I wonder how I get confused within that. So if I say, that made me chuckle, do I chuckle because I'm crying, laughing, or am I laughing with my tongue out? What exactly does that mean? And so I thought, why not use both words and symbols, because they're meaningful, and we incorporate that in our lives with our kids. I kind of give you something that happened to me recently. A teacher approached me and said, some of my students are really grappling with this issue. How do I respond? They're grappling with depression. And I thought, that's a really inspiring word to change and to uplift our students. So why not teach our kids what resiliency means, and why not incorporate words and symbols that reinforce that beautiful presence of resiliency? And so I have a challenge for you all today, which is, how do you incorporate words, and how do you incorporate those emojis? And more importantly, how do you actually connect with your students? Because I leave you with this. When you know the symbols and when you know the words that you can then connect with your students will really value you. Thank you very much. Boom, boom, boom.
Hi. That's how I'm feeling right now. I am from. So I was faced with this as an adult, and I wondered, where am I from? Who am I from? What am I from? Well, I'm from a lot of things, so I started at the beginning as a child, right? What am I from? I'm from dim sum dinners. I'm from Hamburger Helper. I'm from Midwestern casseroles. I'm from ground beef burritos, all around the family table. And I'm from hours and hours and hours of rigorous homework that I had to do when I was in middle school. And we called the principal the headmaster. Okay, I went to school in Oakland. Just want to share that with you. Also, I am also from the sound of locusts in the heat of Illinois summers. And I'm from the fog of winters and other seasons in the Bay Area. And I'm also from, there they are, my parents. I'm also from two very loving parents who put education in front of everything. But when you think about it, right, you can write that poem from the beginning, or you can think about everything else that's happened. So I am also from a really wonderful 21-year marriage, two mostly wonderful boys. I also have a dog named Kitty. I have a lot of really good friends. I have a wonderful PLN. And most of the PLN I actually met here at Q. So yay, PLN. But here's the thing. Not everything is full of Facebook and Instagram moments. There are a lot of other things that make up your identity that maybe you don't always want to talk about. So I'm also from things like when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher told me that it was okay that I wasn't good at math because I was a girl. Ooh, I know. I'm also from bullying. I was bullied in 8th grade terribly. I was crank called all that summer after that. I am also from all the way through my adulthood being asked, what are you? By people who didn't know what ethnic box I fit into. So I'm from all those things as well, and they do affect the way that I react to things. So we're all in beta, and this is something that we have to remember. Your identity is not set. It's not static at all. It's always changing. So always remember, you're in beta, you're always changing. Things are always affecting you in different ways so that you react in different ways. Sometimes you don't even know why you react in those ways. But think about your students as well. So consider, when you give this, I am from, it's not an assignment with a due date. It's more like a journey. Our students are on a very long journey of identity. and so are we all. Thank you.
It's June 15th, 1995, and I'm waiting backstage until my counselor calls me to deliver my speech. But I'm consumed with nervousness. Not because this is my first time speaking in front of a large crowd. I mean, I do that all the time. But I don't know what's about to happen. As I make it to the stage and I deliver that first line of my speech, I am frozen. Because, see, for the first time in 11 months, I actually hear what others have been saying this entire time. I do not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. According to the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders, nearly 1 in 12 U.S. students between the ages of 3 and 17 has had a disorder related to voice, speech, or language in the past 12 months. So I ask you, as stakeholders in our education, how do you treasure, mold, and amplify student voice, especially when it seems impossible to connect with or to make any words at all? You see, for my senior year, I spent nearly every day in the hospital, meeting with specialists, taking a myriad of medication, and I had separated from life. But it wasn't until that January of 95 when my teachers banded together and decided, hey, you need to come back to life, so much that they would make my classmates stay in class when the bell rang just so I could finish my thought. So I ask you, how do you empower our students with persistent words of accountable encouragement? And then in May, I met a specialist who said, hey, we've got our last solution for you. We're going to have a surgery where they're going to take skin from somewhere on my body and then put it in my mouth to block air from coming through. But he said it was up to me. So I ask you, how do you empower our students to make decisions? And so for 2 weeks, I spent my time praying, listening to my parents night after night, my mom crying, trying to decide what we're going to do. And I had finally heard my word from God, and I told them, no more, no doctors. This is over. But here again, remember, it's June, and I'm standing on this stage, and I'm crying uncontrollably and asking God, what is going on? Did I make the wrong decision? And I'm standing here all alone until I feel a hand on my shoulder, and there's my dad standing next to me, and he delivers my speech for me. And so I ask you, how do you empower our students? By joining their support system. So you probably ask, okay, how did it turn out? Well, I'm here. 20 years teaching, not only students, but teachers. I'm on this stage talking to you. And so because of it, it's made such an impact that I have this very quote on my email signature. Let my teaching fall like rain, and my words descend like dew, like showers on new grass, like abundant rain on tender plants. And so again, I charge you as educators, how do you treasure, mold, and amplify student voice, especially when it appears impossible to connect with or even do it at all? Boom.
Hey, fuck you. Oh, my Lord. So there's a website that exists where teachers can charge other teachers money for their resources and their worksheets. And you may know what I'm talking about, but I refuse to give that website power by naming it today. In fact, if you've heard me talk about it before, you'll know that I often refer to it as the Voldemort website, that which shall not be named. I just lost my train of thought. No, we spend hours planning lessons and planning resources for our students to use. And y'all, this hustle is hard. I am all for the grind and making a little bit of money on the side. But is that what's best for our kids? Is that going to change education? We have students in our classrooms who are so historically marginalized. We have equity gaps that are a mile wide. How in the world are we going to do anything to change that if we're too busy focusing on the hustle and on the capitalism game? How in the world are we going to help our students who are so disconnected with a system that was not set up for them to succeed in the first place if we're focused on individualism and consumption and competition with one another? We need to be all in for all kids, all of us, all the time. It's the only way we will ever stand a chance to make an impact on all of our kids' lives. They're not your kids. They're not my kids. They're all our kids. And each and every one of them is deserving of a quality education, regardless of whether or not their teacher can afford the resources. So I believe in a culture of open pedagogy. I believe its ideas are meant to be shared and not paid for. It's not going to be one single person's individual yet thought of idea that's going to change all of education. It's our collective ideas coming together. It's the building upon and the remixing and the resharing and the breath of new life into learning that is going to make a difference and has been making a difference for teachers who have already adopted this mindset and are using this in their classrooms today. I love being a part of the Teachers Give Teachers community. It's a small pocket of the internet and social media started by the girls who created HyperDocs. It's a community of educators all over the world who believe in sharing because maybe you can use it too, or on building on each other's ideas and sharing our creativity and our passion because it might spark something in you to share in your own classroom. My classroom is not a business. My lesson plans are not a side hustle. And when teachers nickel and dime each other, it's the students who pay the price. Boom.
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Nunes. Welcome! Hey, so I'm here to talk to you today about the one thing. So here's the one thing. Find something here at Fall Q this weekend that you can take home and do right away. So last year, I found my one thing. My one thing was podcasting, and it's taken off. So let me get to it. It all started when I was a kid. I see. Some of you have had this as well. This is my first Sony. Raise your hand if you had one of these lovely toys as a kid. Yep. So back in the day when I was about 3-4 years old, I had the Scotty Nunes podcast, and I would have on friends, family, anybody that was willing to come be on my show. And I even had on Mickey, Minnie, Donald Duck, and Goofy. I had these stuffed animals, had them on the show, made all these cute little voices for them. And it started there. And the reason I'm talking about podcasting is because it's the best professional development there is. And you're already here getting professional development. Take it to the next level. So my journey started when I was in Brian Briggs and Ryan O'Donnell's session last year. Woo-woo! Yeah, and they mentioned this tool called Anchor. I hadn't heard of that. And then these guys next to me, Mike and Tom, they're the Toast's Talking Tech. They said, hey, we're going to present on this right after these guys. How about you stay? And I did. And they gave me the roadmap for success. So I'm going to share that with you right now. So first things first, leverage your social media. Get on, share what you have. You are each leaders in your own content area. Share it out. Don't just be content consumers, be content creators. Get it out there. Yeah. And so what podcasting has done is really give me the best professional development ever, because you know what? I get to interview people like Catlin Tucker. I get to interview people like Tara Martin and Tisha Richmond and have them on my show and get that custom personalized PD, and I get to share that out, and I get to amplify teacher voice. And it's really not that hard. You can do it too. All you need is a growth mindset, basic tech like your phone, and a clear vision. And it's as simple as hitting record. So if you have the Anchor app on your phone, go ahead, get it out, open it up, and it's easy as click, click, and say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Boom! Thanks.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Dr. Tatun Toya. I'm from Pasadena, California, and I'm here to talk to you about 3 ways that we can be co-conspirators for our students. First, I want to talk to you guys about a recent trip I took to Costco. I only had 20 minutes to get in and out of Costco. Very ambitious, right? I had to get diapers, I had to get a box of juice, and cookies. I knew where the diapers were, I knew where the juice was, but I did not know where the cookies were. So I walk up and down the aisles till I finally found the juice, and I checked out, and as I was walking to my car, I said to myself, wow, I wish I had a co-conspirator to help me with getting in and out of Costco in time. I wish I had someone who I could have called to let me know which Costco to go to that wasn't as packed. Maybe calling the co-conspirator to tell me where the items were, and maybe even a co-conspirator to tell me which check stand to go to, which is the fastest. Just like I needed a co-conspirator for my success, our students need co-conspirators for their success. The first way that we can be co-conspirators to our students is to be the anti-gatekeeper. Do not be that teacher who guards the fence and makes sure that students only get access for whatever reason they may need it, and not open up the fence to our students and give them the keys to success. The second way to be co-conspirators is to believe in your students. And not just those students that are doing well, not just those students that are the GATE students or the students that are getting straight A's in your classes, but all the students that's struggling. That's the person who needs you the most. And how do you believe in that student? Because that student may be the next astronaut, maybe even the next president of the United States. You never know. Lastly, I love this quote from Paulo Freire. He says, the pursuit of humanity comes from solidarity and fellowship, not from isolation or individualism. And if we can have solidarity with our students and the needs that they have, then we can be human and we can be co-conspirators for the success of our students. Thank you very much. Boom.
Good afternoon. I'm Tracy Bondi. I'm Director of IT, Los Gatos, Saratoga. In 3rd grade, I was administered a reading assessment like every other student in Washoe County School District in Reno, Nevada, and I was deemed a low reader. This set the trajectory for the rest of my educational career. I never had access to rich literature. I never had access to AP courses. Fast forward, when I was a sophomore in high school, I had a great opportunity to sit with my counselor like every other 10th grader in Washoe County School District. And in a 15-minute conversation, that counselor looked at my transcripts, looked at my GPA, and told me I did not have what it takes to go to college. That counselor told me I should just get a job. I hold multiple degrees. I hold multiple certifications. I went back to that school district's high school that I graduated from 3 years later as the youngest substitute teacher in the history of the school district. I showed up every day serving the most at-risk special ed students with severe emotional disabilities. So what? You could say, she made a choice. You could say, she broke the cycle. I'm the only one of 5 siblings and 2 generations to graduate from high school. Did I mention the degrees and the certifications? Now what? Every day for the past 17 years as an ed tech leader in the state of California, in the Bay Area, across 5 districts, I show up for you because I believe if I show up for you, that you will show up for me. Boom.
Hello, everybody. I'm Valerie, and I'm from Rolling Heights. Yay! I've got this letter for all y'all. When you see this letter, what's the first word that pops up in your brain? I know some of y'all got some bad words. But really, yes, F for fall Q. F for fall, but F is actually for failure. Did you know that in our entire grading system, we got our A, our B, our C, our D. They don't correspond to any single actual idea. I mean, it does, not an actual word though, but they didn't go to E for failing. They went directly to F. So when we think of the letter F, it's like, boom, like we're gonna fail, right? And we've grown up in this whole environment that failing is a horrible, horrible thing. If you don't know how to do this, then you're gonna fail. If you don't know how to do this, then guess what? You may not go to college. If you don't go to college, guess what? You're maybe gonna be a failure. So we're in this environment where it's like, we are so afraid to fail. I even had, as a kindergarten dual immersion teacher, I had a parent on the second day of school who came in and was like, Miss Sun, listen, my daughter has never ever failed a day in her life. So I want you to make sure that she doesn't fail in your class. I was like, whoa, ma'am. Your daughter doesn't speak any French. She's in a 90-10 dual immersion French program. Guess what? She's gonna be failing. But I am gonna make sure that whenever she feels that she is failing, that failure is gonna be nice and instructive, and she is going to learn from it, and we will learn from it all together. We really have to reframe this idea of failure and let our students fail every single time, and let them know that just because they failed, it doesn't mean that they're a loser, it doesn't mean that they did something wrong, it doesn't mean that they have a personal flaw. It means that they just haven't found the right way yet, and we need to help them find that right way. So how are we gonna do that? We really have to have a lot of practice with our students. Before we have to give them multiple chances. We have to let them make mistakes. We have to give them so much love so that they know that it is okay. They know that it is safe to fail in our classrooms and sometimes in life, or all the time in life. We have to show them that they can be vulnerable, and most of all, we need to give them patience, and we need to give them the time to do so. And for all of us who are afraid to fail, what would you do if you knew that you couldn't fail? So let's go out there and crush the F's and drop some F-bombs. Boom!
Let's give it up one more time for this amazing set of Q Boomers for fall 2019. Oh, you still have the clicker. Valerie. Back on stage. Okay. We're so excited that you are here with us today, mostly for these people, these wonderful people who have, let me tell you, the lights are very warm, and I did not have to memorize a single thing. So they did an amazing job, but also we're really happy for you to be here today, because this could be you. Yeah, we will be looking for some boomers for spring 2020. And they are sitting in this audience. And if they are not sitting in this audience, they are some of your friends and colleagues. So if you know someone who needs to be on this stage, I already see some people pointing. Awesome. We need to get your info, sir. We will ask you to apply. We want to see you on this stage in spring 2020.
I see Randall right there.
Yeah, we see you,
We got you,
Randall.
Randall.
It's going to be great. We need other... Oh. We need more of you amazing folk up here to share your passions, to share your stories, because that's what connects us all.
And with that, I think we should have one more boom.
Yeah,
ready?
ready?
1, 2, 3, boom! That's right. Thank you for coming, guys.
Thank you.